What I've never spoken about on this channel, ever, are game settings and what I think are the actual best game settings for players inside of Diablo Immortal. What I plan to do today is take you through my game settings for how I have it set up on PC, as well as how I have it set up on my mobile. So let's dive into it. For all you new players out there, if you don't know how to get to settings, it is simply this cog right up in the top right-hand side. Takes you to all of the game settings. Let's start with our general settings. Some of these things I keep as default, other things I do make modifications to along the way. Sound is going to be up to you. I like having the master sound loud. I also, keep in mind, do a lot of recording because of YouTube, so you guys may not. If you don't like music but you like game sounds, make that adjustment to your liking. That is really dependent on you. I have my output set up for me here. Auto pickup. I like to pick up everything. Even the normal items, I want to make sure that I have them so I can break them down and get the materials from them, especially with auto salvage inside of the game. I will, that's important for me all the time. I can salvage at any point in time. Gear upgrade recommendations I like to have on, and I go with the classic method. I don't like the newer one as much, so I stick with the classic way, which is how it was when the game actually released. Salvage material usage settings. I turn all of these off. I don't want to accidentally salvage something that may have value, so I like to manually go through anything that I'm salvaging to make sure that it's an item that I personally don't want versus having the game itself decide if it's of value or not. Quick equip suggestions. Keep that off. Equip new cosmetics instantly. I have that on. Now I'm thinking maybe I should actually turn that one off. Yeah, I am going to turn that one off because I hate it when I get a new cosmetic from Battle Pass. I don't want to equip it, so we're going to actually keep that one off. Auto navigation on. I absolutely love auto navigation inside of the game. I think it's a great feature. I like it. Heliquery permissions, everything is on, and let's move over to interface. Please keep in mind that many of the settings that I use on PC, specifically some of the ones that we just mentioned, are the same on my mobile. So when I do show you what's on my phone, it's really just gonna be for performance and not all of the other, pickup methods and things like that, like my recommendations and what I like to play with. So let's have a look at interface. Minimap is actually an important one. I, for a while, was playing with a large minimap, but it caused problems to the game for me. It wasn't giving me notifications, and I had to actually switch back to a small minimap. I like the large map because I find myself watching the map a lot more often than the game. But because of the issues that it brought up, I went back to small, so I'd recommend the same for you to avoid those issues. Stance button location, I like it down in the bottom corner. Some people like it up in the position 1 to keep it a little bit more out of the way. Combat value displays. Some people hate seeing the numbers jumping. I personally love it. It reminds me of like Borderlands from back in the day. I keep all of them on because I like them. The size you could select right over here, recommended. You could go large if you want them bigger. You can go small. You can go tiny. I'm going to go with the recommended and keep it like that, just as the game has it naturally. You have spectator camera config, control sensitivity 50%. You got your how you pan up and down. This is just if you're a spectator in something, not the biggest deal. I keep it as default there as well. Now, for controller, this is going to be very specific to how you play and as well to what class you're playing. So for me, I'll use keyboard often. Sometimes I'll use controller, but really most of the time I like playing on the glass on the screen. So I'll show you that when we get to the mobile phone portion of this. But primary attack lock on, alt lock to interact with UI I have off. Channeled skill, follow mouse movement, I have on. Mouse click button casting off. Mouse click open chat panel off. And this is what I have my basic attacks and things as. Now again, whenever I play competitive like PvP type stuff, I prefer to play on my phone. I just find it a lot more controlling for me. Some people may disagree, and that's why we get to play on phone and PC. As you can see, I have my skills bound to numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, potions, ultimate, stance changes, interacting with players, move up and down. I really don't use that WASD. I just kind of click around. Game menu, all of these things are right here. These aren't the biggest of deal. These could be whatever you're comfortable with, completely up to you. Now, if we go all the way up and we take a look at how I have my controller currently set up, this is me playing as the wizard right now. So I have my primary attack as right trigger. X, Y, A, B are my skills. Potion is left bumper. Stance changes is left trigger. My ultimate, L3 and R3, which are the thumbstick buttons. Interact, RB. Chat buttons and mapping, it's all right there. And you got your thumbstick sensitivities right here as well. This is essentially how I have it all locked up for me right now as a wizard class. Definitely does change based off the class that you play. And honestly, the way that you set up your controller is going to be up to your comfort level and what you get used to. Display. This is where things are going to be different on mobile versus here. Skill, visual effects, display settings. Reduce skill effects for team members in open world. I have it off. Hide skill effects for team members in PvP. I have it off. Hide skill effects for other players in world and dungeons. I have it off. Information display. I like my name, clan names, all of these I like to have on. Show legendary gem effects. I like it on. Some people don't like a lot of splashing on the screen. I personally don't mind it. I actually like it. And honestly, most of this stuff is set as default. Track buffs and debuff PvP scenarios on. Item lighting during inventory selection on. I actually like this one, highlighting during inventory selection. Essentially, my inventory is empty right now, but when you click on a chest piece, it will light up all the chest pieces. When you click on a primary weapon, it'll highlight all the primary weapons. I think it's really nice. It's an ease of seeing feature. Sort consumables first. This is the new feature inside of the game that just changes how things are sorted over in your tab all the way over on the right. If you want to see what I'm talking about this tab right down here. If it does sort consumables first, anything that is consumable that you can use, like these chests and things like that, those will be up top. I actually like that one to be off. Also, when I play on PC, I go full screen. My resolution is 3840 by 2160. I am playing on a 4K monitor, and mouse lock is off. Taking a look at graphics, I go with warm. I like bringing a little extra color in there. My world brightness, I keep it at 60%, frame rate 120. Now, some of the items here, I kind of knocked down because I'd rather sacrifice a little bit of my graphic integrity for the system to just run a little bit smoother. Just so you guys know, my computer is one that I purchased about 3 years ago now, and it has a 3090 in it. So even to this day, a 3090 inside of a gaming PC is actually quite good and can play any game that's out there. There are now 4090s and above, but 3090 is a pretty great graphics card. I don't know what you guys are running, so these settings will also change based off of what you have in your PC. Vertical sync I have is off. Item sharpening, I like it on. And I customized my quality. Visual effects are high. Shadows I put too high. I decided anything that's not on very high, it was me just deciding I want to downgrade quality a little bit just to make my system run a little smoother. Fog is on high. Post-processing is on. Anti-analyzing is high. Knock down one level. Environment details, monster effects, render quality, all high. Global lighting I dropped down to low. Fluid dynamics, I went down to high. Water effects, I have very high. Bloom effect is on. Enhanced reflections are off as of right now. That was also another newer feature brought into the game. For chat, I think I have it all default. Chat channels in preview, I got basically all of it on there. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. These are not important. And I go with default text size. Everything is just default as far as text goes. I don't go with text to speech. I know that a lot of people do this. Some people with disabilities, some people that just don't like to type into the screen. I actually hate chatting in Diablo Immortal. I just find it clunky. I don't like it. Which is why if you message me, you may notice like I don't respond to messages in game regularly all the time, and then I'll go back and I'll realize I have a bunch. I'm just not a big chatter inside of the game. Part of it's because responding it just doesn't feel right. So voice to chat to text, voice speech to text. I guess if I was a bigger chatter, I may turn those on. Text-to-speech commands, dual challenges will be reflected for 7 days. I have it off. Narrative chat messages, I have that off. Appear offline, friends, warband, clan. All right. Gives you your account info. By the way, if you ever want to enter a code, you could do it right over here. And then all of the legal details. Now, that's how I have it all set up over here on PC for myself. Let's dive over and take a look at how I have it actually on my phone. All right, so keeping in mind here what I do on my phone, I don't do any recording on my phone, so I really don't care as much how the game looks. I obviously want it to look decent, but I don't need it to look anything crazy. So let's go through some of these settings with all of that in mind. Detect rotation I have on. Sometimes I like to go Survivor's Bane with a rotated screen. I keep my master volume a lot lower when I play on mobile. I'm going to kind of go through all this. All of this stuff is the same. The auto pickup, what I like things to look like, they're all the same here as they were on my PC settings as well. The interface, same deal. Sensitivity, I keep it up. I go with the normal loadout on the left. Skill button layout, I like the buttons to be laid out as that, which is basically the default. We have primary attack aim, I keep that off, and skill button positioning, I keep it as normal. Canceling skills, I have it so that you kind of push on over to the X. I don't often cancel a skill, but if I want to, that's how it goes. And finger center wheel position, I just keep it right over there. I don't like that button to be moving all around the screen. I like it to all be in one place. Stance position, same as it was on the other. I also keep with the small mini map. Got all of these settings the same as on PC here as well. Now, if we go to the controller really quickly, fishing vibration, I keep it off. Survivor's Bane vibration, I keep it off. And I don't use a controller on my phone ever, so I just keep it as phone. On display, this is where we'll see some things a little bit different, where I do keep my display and my graphic settings next, possibly a little bit different. Everything up top is the same. How I display things over here, all the same as well. You could see the game storage. Wow, 20 gigs. I go with HD mode. I don't want to be not having everything that the game has in it. So I go with HD mode. It gives me everything that the game offers. And that's all we got right there. When we go on over to graphics, I stick with the warm. I like that warm color. 50% on world brightness. Frame rate, I actually knocked this down to 30 over 60 just because it's on my phone. I'm playing it just for fun. It doesn't need to be that pristine look, right? So I keep frame rate at 30 rather than 60 just to use less battery in the phone. Resolution on high, image sharpening off. Quality, I actually keep it on high for most of these right here. I don't have the ability to keep it on very high for some of them because this is an iPhone 14 that I'm playing on, and it just doesn't have some of those capabilities. Water effects high, fluid dynamics on high. Everything is basically set on high. Enhanced reflections are off, and reduced PvP effects are also off. And as you can see, it tells me that my device load is low, so it's really not doing a lot to bother or hurt my phone or kill my battery. Chat, I got all this stuff basically as default as well. Should all look about the same as on PC as well. And then just your preview size and what that looks like right there. Pretty easy stuff. Keep it at default, and I'm happy with all of those things there. Notifications, you can set what you want things here, like when new bounties are available, new shadow contracts. I actually like a few things like shadow assembly. I like to be alerted when the shadow assembly is happening. I like to know when something is sold on the market. You could choose what you want to be bothered with an in-game notification and what you don't. Keep in mind, I do not actually do any, I don't do any notifications outside of the game. So I'm not going to have my phone dinging at me if there's anything that I want or anything that happens. I keep notifications off. When I'm in game, notifications can pop up, sure, but when I'm out of game, I'm out of game. Video capture, I never use this feature. With an iPhone, I'll just pull down and do the record feature from there. So I don't have these changed. This should all basically be default for me. But it is really nice that they have the ability to capture footage from the game. And obviously, from default, Diablo Immortal is going to give you everything set at the highest of settings so that when you do share the game with people, it's going to show the best feature and preview of the game. Now let's actually take this one step further and dive into my iPad. This is a very cheap iPad that I picked up 3 years ago just to play Diablo Immortal. It cost me about $250 on Amazon. It was a low tier, not very good iPad. This game will, after about 45 minutes to an hour of play, will crash on me. So let's take a look at what my settings are on this, a device that really is not strong enough to play the game, in case your device is similar to mine. And to be honest with you, most things take place here inside of graphics. Now, there is a level of knocking graphics down to where everything looks like you're playing a game made of clay. It looks so bad. And on this iPad, I actually at one point dropped all of the settings to the lowest of settings, and it did not improve the crash rate. So I decided to just keep it at normal. So what we're looking at right here is frame rate, I went down to 30. Resolution, I kept it on ultra. Item sharpening is off. Quality selection, I just keep it at very high. Because what I noticed when I go and set it down to a low setting, it does not perform any better, meaning it doesn't crash less if I put it on low. So let's take a look at what the game looks like here for my character on very high, again, on a very low end device. And I think this is probably the best screen to show it. As you can see, my character doesn't have a lot of good look to him. He's pretty blurry and just not looking clean. But now let's switch it to very low and see the difference. All right, so now we're on low settings. So everything is just going to kind of be a little bit mushy. Let's see what things look like over here now. As you can see, even less detail on the pixelization. Honestly, not the worst thing in the world. If you're playing on something you don't care about the graphics, then sure. But for me, I like for things to kind of look decent. At the end of the day, you have to really determine what your settings are going to be based off of the device that you're playing on. And I just wanted to share with all of you today what those settings were for me. So on my PC, I go with the highest of settings for the best quality and look. On my phone, I go for a nice balance so that the phone doesn't kill the battery too quickly, but I can still enjoy a good looking game. And on my iPad, I go for basically whatever settings just to keep the thing running. Hope you guys found this valuable. If you did, please subscribe to the channel because I put out Diablo Immortal videos every single day.